Hello everyone, this is Ether Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. Time to head to the first replay. Once again, we're using the meme layout. I think people have finally kind of figured out what's going on. But, yep, the new Ascended Fiorm, definitely strong with lane support. The number one thing that still plagues me about Fiorm is her damage output. People seem to make it work with enough buffing spam, but I don't know. And also people are preferring to use something like Aegis, because if you stack Aegis with Lane and Hardy Fighter, first of all, Aegis procs twice. And then you have Flame's 30% damage reduction, which means if there isn't someone like Legendary Byleth or something like with Sublime Heaven, Deadeye, or Young Inish or whatever, that's overall like 82.5% damage reduction. Combine that with the flat -5 damage, which is actually a really strong effect, as we saw way back when with Shield Pulse, although Shield Pulse has died out quite a bit nowadays. With Shield Pulse and the 7 healing after combat, or however much healing it is, you have a very solid ranged tank. It's just a matter of if you can pick up the kills, and for the most part people seem to be figuring out how to get Fiorm to get those kills. Or you just sit around long enough that you have your other units on your team clean up. That's the general idea nowadays, and not entirely sure what we're going to do to deal with that down the line. I know my infantry pulse team still on dark defense still lacks a ton of damage output, so we're gonna have to scratch our heads a bit. But Gustav's damage reduction combined with Lane allows him to easily survive Duma and absolutely obliterate with Ignis, and at this point it's GG. I guess they're a bit too scared to put Gustav in range of Olivia to hit end turn, or maybe they're farming SP, who knows. But this team is basically, you can just hit and run and snipe down the rest of my units later kind of a deal. If you do it correctly, it's pretty straightforward. You can also hit end turn against this defense, although you do have to be slightly careful. There's some things you have to take into consideration. You definitely do not need isolation at all to beat this team. You just need to know what's going on with the AI. That's pretty much it. Nothing too mind-blowing there, but they decide to go in for a turn 1 play where they snipe down Duma. Not entirely sure why, but you know, because for example, what if that whatchamacallit, trap was real? And it's the heavy trap, so I don't know what their game plan was here, but Oder is just going to absolutely obliterate Regan. Brutal Shell is absolute overkill. Not necessary at all. And of course Kanto allows him to just slide back. Brave Erica's just one-shots Altina straight out the gate. So she doesn't even get to attack, and once again Kanto to run away. The runaway part's pretty useful for this defense just because we usually end up having our units overextend way too much, and so bad things happen. But here they don't leave Legendary Edelgard by herself, not adjacent to allies, so it's just a free double for Larshell. And the dance here, Brave Erica of course not going to be able to one-shot Fallen Edelgard, but she can definitely absolutely obliterate with Luna. Do 100 damage, not bad. 100 actually is pretty low for Brave Erica's Luna, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's pretty much over at this point. But yeah, my number one concern going down the line is going to be dealing with Ascended Fiorm in some really strong potato balls. Because, you know, you can run Ice Mirror, instead of Ice Mirror, you can run Aegis, for example. And you can run Niffle, you can run Flame, you can really get some heavy damage reduction going. And with the HP inflation from Mythics or whatnot, you just have yourself a recipe for... You probably don't want to try to tackle this from ranged. Your best bets, if there isn't a lot of damage reduction running around, is having massive damage output and having like harmonized Catria so you can quad or whatever. But you have to have a lot of damage to pull that off. But the thing about using Aegis on Ascended Fjorm is then your damage output goes down a decent amount. Actually a significant amount if you're stacking a ton of damage reduction. So, you know, the quad is feasible, it's just a matter of if you have enough power to kill. And I know people have made plenty of videos about the shenanigans you can pull off, but that's damage reduction in a nutshell. If you have like 80% damage reduction is super solid at that, something like with the deflect seals, but it comes down to HP at the end of the day. Unless you have, for some reason, 100% damage reduction, which is does not exist in this game. You can take zeros, even though the enemy's doing more than 0 damage, but you can't have 100% damage reduction. You can have, you know, close to it if you try hard enough, but it's not a thing yet. Hopefully it's never a thing, but that would be very awkward if it was a thing. Duelin unable to quad Brave Erica, so she can only pick up a good chunk of damage on Brave Erica, but it's enough for Henriette to pick up the kill, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, this week on offense, I should mention, you might have seen already, we did manage to make tier 39 this week. It's been quite a while because we're goofballing way too much. And usually we're not in vaults when we're in Astra season, so that kind of contributes to the problem. As you can see, there's just plenty of Gale Force, just heavy player phase nuking stuff. Not too surprising. Safety fence definitely helps these kind of teams out, especially with units like what's his name? Forgot his name right now. I'm too brain dead. It's the dagger guy that moves 3 spaces and has Kanto too. I don't know why I forgot his name, but we'll remember it eventually. Yeah. Just a good old hit and run.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I have no idea why I can't remember his name. I will probably have to look after this replay. Now it's bothering me. But they're just going in to attack here. And of course, I keep calling him Dual Leaf, but he's actually a Harmonized hero. You know, Harmonized Leaf with his miracle shenanigans, very strong. It's always great to be able to survive by 1 HP. It makes setting up Wings of Mercy and whatnot more consistent. But they can just clean up at this point. They have plenty of duo skills, harmonized skills to use to get additional actions, and of course Lift is never ever going to take tank dual Lin without running deflect missile and actually enemy or fellow allies buffing his defense a bit more or something, because his HP is just so low that even with deflect missile, it's not too difficult for dual Lin to just 2-shot him anyways. But of course, Olivia is never going to 1-shot Lin, so we're just sitting ducks, and it's just GG. Alright, the unit's name is Yuri. I don't know why I blanked out on that, but you know, here's another Gale Force team. Gale Force is super strong against this against my defense, as long as you have the damage output, of course. Looks like they're just checking damage or something, because of course, not that many people actually do their daily damage calcs. I'm one of the rare people who do. I mean, there's a good chunk of people who do it. It's just a lot of people don't do it as ridiculous, to the ridiculous extent that I do it. Because I wish I could be a little bit more precise with some of my calcs, but I mean, what are you gonna do? It's just more room for improvement. Looks like they're gonna take out Duma, which makes sense, gives them a solid avenue to start their Gale Force shenanigans. And of course they can always Kanto onto the Bolt Trap they know is real to set up Wings of Mercy. But before then, Regan can pick up the exact one-round KO on Olivia. 100% not rigged. Definitely not rigged in any way. Looks like they choose to not... Wait, is it past turn 4? I don't know, I'm not paying attention. But, pretty solid so far. Just picking up those kills. I wonder if they're just gonna wipe out the whole team, or what's their plan here? Oh, this will hurt a little bit, but I mean... it's never going to one-shot, that would be too insane. Alright. Open the future, alright. Lift doesn't have any allies around, so kind of a problem for him. Doesn't get the guaranteed follow-up attack. He's also running attack defense farm, so with no allies around, it's literally an empty seal. On offense this week, I should mention is, you know, plenty of the usual turn 1 shenanigan teams. A lot of times they're pretty exploitable. The one Ether Raid's offense video about one of those turn 1 teams, very exploitable. Of course, not feasible for every team to make such a play, but it's just a gaping issue with that kind of defense layout. And it's not really much of an issue per se, because again, you still need someone to be able to tank and take out dual lift if you're gonna make that exact same play, so not too big of a deal. But Fjorm against Duma, we all know how this is gonna go. I know, doing his thing, doing some damage, but null follow-up says no, so... And once again here we're overextended, so kind of a small problem for us. Easy one shot for Legendary Byleth, but they don't do anything else, so Larshell hits 3 units at the same time. So no counterattack, is just kills left and right for us. And looks like Larshell is going to take out Bride Fjorm. Bride Fjorm didn't actually do anything because she didn't have enough HP to isolate Olivia. 10 out of 10. I haven't seen a lot of Bride Fjorms used against my defense because of that. Like 72 HP is not that high. I'm being serious. I don't even know if I have one Dragon Flower on Olivia. She can get a few more points of HP. And we're not even running, I don't think we're running plus HP either. Yeah, running plus speed. I guess we have 6 flowers. Okay, so we can only get 3 more. No, 2 more points of HP from flowers. But anyways, going back to offense again, here's another Ascended Fjorm. It's not like we're going to be able to do much. Our best bet of beating Ascended Fjorm is using melee units, of course. But that's why they have a near save at Gustav. Valentine Gustav. to take care of that. Because if you just have Fiorm as your far save unit, and that's all you have, I don't think she's going to fare too well against melee units as much, even if there's Flame. But, as usual, the damage reduction from Gustav, super solid. He's not able to one-shot Oder, but Oder's not doing enough damage anyways to make it scary. And of course, Ice Mirror is going to go off of Flame. So, whopping 2 damage. And, yeah, just heal it right back. So, Fatal Smoke is definitely super important for ranged units trying to take out Fiorm, of course, because that's 7 HP after combat when you're factoring all the damage reduction is a lot of HP to heal back.
I don't think so.
And of course the other thing that's relevant is you could prevent the special from proccing after you proc it once. That's something that I ran into earlier this season. I ran to Crafty Fighter Aegis Brave Hector in a potato ball. But the problem was I could just attack Brave Hector with Healer, aka my Brave Veronica on offense, and he can't counterattack like Ascended Fiorm, so his special is gone. It's kind of awkward. But yeah, if Fiorm doesn't have her special, she literally just becomes an armored unit with stats that heals after combat. She has no built-in special acceleration to her kit, and people don't usually run like Steady Breath Seal or something. So if you can just prevent the special from getting recharged again, you're pretty much set. And especially when people are running the Aegis set, when it's 2 cooldown, it's even harder if there's stuff like guard around. But of course that means, is it really worth running guard on your units? Because it's still not a guaranteed win. You still have to be able to check out the damage output. And with the way the AI works, the unit that, well, of course the unit that would, if none of them can take out Ascended Fiorm in one round, it's just going to be the unit that doesn't die but has the best damage ratio, so 3 times the net amount of damage minus the damage you take. So yeah, that doesn't fare well when you're trying to get the first unit to just unproc the special. It's kind of an awkward spot. But of course, like all things Fire Emblem Heroes, I know there's some stuff incoming. Let's just say that. There's some stuff incoming. That might be moderately, totally not balanced at all. But Ascended Fiorm, yeah, I think an Aether Raid's offense just pretty solid. Needs the support though, for sure. And I almost feel like, I don't know, this forms of chip damage are just too slow, but I don't know, maybe it would work. It's like if you can leverage the fact that Ascended Fiorm can't consistently one-round KO everything, then maybe, just maybe, you could beat her with some chip damage, but you still have to deal with the actual stats, of course. I don't know. There's a lot of things to think about with Ascended Fiorm, but I think the number one thing is just more proof that damage reduction is pretty much a necessity in today's meta shenanigans. Because trying to survive units with pure stats is not an easy feat, as we've seen with using Fiorm on Aether Raid's offense, even when she's bonus. you know, 60s. Of course, mine only has like 60 something defense and maybe like 70, 80 something res, which isn't great. She still, you know, has problems with the weapon triangle or just super high attack units. It's with specials. Specials are. It's just specials and damage reduction. The constant war of chucking out enough damage and surviving enough damage. Especially with units like Brave Erica or Regan, where they have a 30% damage reduction, but their base HP is so low that it's totally feasible to get one-shots still. That's where modes like Ether Raids here, or it didn't occur to me after the Pawns of Loki round ended that I could use Brave Erica to get some damage output going. You know, she's kind of... The HP inflation there means it's virtually impossible to get one-shots. And on top of that, also highly unlikely to take too much damage overall, because if we're running Luna, then we're getting, whatchamacallit, 50% of our max HP and healing. And in Pawns of Loki, you have quite a bit of HP. So that just kind of translates to decent results. And I feel like if you went for an ultra super omega meme strat where you have like bright harmonized Catria paired with like Brave Eric and stuff, you could take out a good chunk of units. But of course the problem with Brave Erica is she really relies on her specials and effective damage when applicable to kill, and there are some people in Pawns of Loki who decide let's put Svalin shield on our armored units. But I mean, besides the point, you can see there, even through the 30% damage reduction, we just got one shot. So we're taking way too much damage, and at this point it's GG. It's not like Lith can actually do anything here. So they just clean it up here. They could go for the ether structure, but they choose not to. And probably the last replay of the season here, good old Brave Hector and company. I've not seen Winter Altina, whatever you want to call her, in quite a long time. Alright, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10. Yeah, that seems about right for the end. I haven't watched this, so seems about right for the end of the season, but yeah, that seems about right. Easily should be able to two-shot. The only unit in question to two-shot would be Oder, but he's green, so it'd be a bit surprising if she couldn't two-shots. But yep, pretty straightforward. Just easy cleanup. And what are we going to do about it? Brave Erica, of course, is going to move forward, but Liv hit end turn. So because they hit end turn, Brave Erica didn't have a chance of attacking. Of course, we can always calculate to see what the result would have been, but of course, also our meme structure placement allows them to just cocoon, take some time off, while our units overextend themselves. Especially with that dance, Brave Erica is now completely overextended. You can just use Ashera to pick up the kills. Also have Dragon effectiveness now on Altina, so Doom is just free kill. And Ashera, not going to be able to one-shot here because of the damage reduction. But, I mean, close enough. Naga actually picking up the kill, Pog. But yeah, Brave Erica is very interesting. Very dependent on her special to kill, though, that's for sure. And the effective damage is super important against a lot of the meta shenanigans. It's like if she ran to like Svalin Shield, actually she probably could still kill as long as she procs her special. Which as long as she doubles and Fallen Edelgard counters, then it should be fine. But yeah, they didn't have to deploy too many of their resources here on their units to actually win. Let's see if Naga's able to one-round KO, and the answer is no, because it's Naga's. What would you expect? And they could grab the last ether structure if they really wanted to. And looks like they do. And there we go. Pick up the kill of Luna. And that's just GG for us. So overall, yeah, this team intentionally Garbo. Not sure what I want to do, because there is always safety fence to think about nowadays. But the thing with safety fence is that sometimes people put it in lanes 3 and 4, so it becomes a null structure. But a lot of the times people do put it. It's very common from what I've seen to put in like column 5 or somewhere that's not 3 and 4 basically. So we're always in trouble in those instances. But yep, pretty straightforward. We're ranked 290 now, but like if you look at the standings for Allegiance battles, the top players, the max score is 1060, of course, because it actually is pretty hard to score that much, but you know, we're only 6 points off, which is only three tiers of scoring higher, essentially. There's some people with random off synergy bonuses, so they don't have the same potential scores like everyone else does because of their awkward synergy differential. But you know, I'm a bit nervous we're not going to be able to stand here now. Next week though, we're definitely going to be going for at least all 762s. Of course, we'll just be doing random matches prior to, because if we don't need to burn crests, why should we? I believe this is a new set of people as well. It's just racking in wins easily just because Crom bonus is a thing, and Arena Assault. We keep having to use Dancer's Veils because I keep mistapping. And I'd rather not redo a whole run again. So we keep using Dancer's Veils and not getting Dancer's Veils back, so yeah, we're not, there's no dire situation where we're running out. It's just much fewer than the other ones, and well, yep, Mjolnir Strike easily cruise through Anima Major because that's our highest scoring team. But anyways, we'll be back when the results drop in. And time for the results. Alright, just top 3k, that's expected. Because we didn't do too well on defense. This week we're probably just dropping that we're gonna have no bonus unit. And that's about it. We got nothing on defense either, so we're gonna be scoring pretty miserable regardless. It's still water season though, so that's something, but not really. Armor school, okay. Gotta remember to change that out. Let back down to interval 19 as expected. And did we stay? It was just a meme. Haven't seen rank 1 before, so that was cool. We're probably not going to do it again. There's no point. I don't think the cutoff's going to be 3,880. That would be absolutely insane if it were to happen. Definitely would obliterate the current record for highest cutoff to stay in tier 21, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be doing here with defense. Probably we might try continuing the Bilo shenanigans, but I don't know. But anyways, that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, this is Ether Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye!